The meeting to order, and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Moving on to roll call.
Whitney Tucker,
Here.
Casey Benner,
Here.
Mark Buckeye, Bill Hart, here. Tom Hooper, here. We have quorum.
Okay, moving on to the approval of the agenda for tonight's meeting.
I move for approval.
Second. I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, moving on to the approval of minutes from our last meeting, which was November 18th of 2024.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, moving on to introduction of evidence.
So I have the city code, our design guidelines. You have the staff reports in front of you, you received last week. And then the applicant for SGHC 010-25 also submitted this material, which is available. That's all I have.
I move for acceptance of the evidentiary materials.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to accept the evidence. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. We are going to start with old business. We are going to start with SGHC 009-25 to receive a certificate of appropriateness to install a white picket fence and concrete post matching 99 North Main at 73 North Main.
I purposefully tried to.
Just give me a little tongue tie this today. Okay.
I don't see the applicant here, though. She has told me today she would be here, so we may come back to this unless you want to go ahead and consider it.
Reshuffle.
Table it for a little while.
Table till the end.
Okay, so we are going to switch over and we are going to go with SGHC 010-25 to receive a certificate of appropriateness to construct a detached garage in the side yard at 111 South 5th Street.
I think you have 25 and 23.
That's 23.
That's 23, not 25. Yep.
It is 25. I apologize.
Okay.
That's the
So that-
number. That's
there
my
we go.
mistake.
So ours-
Yeah.
So the 25 is 23 and the 23 is 25 on here.
So it's SGHC 010-25. Yes, sir.
Okay.
And
It's karaoke.
How y'all doing this evening?
Good, thanks.
Good. Okay. You want me to just go over what we're
yeah,
planning on doing?
about the plan, and then they have this now also.
Okay, good. So plan on constructing a 24 by 24 garage. It'll have two 9x7 garage doors facing 5th Street, one entry door facing the house, which I guess would be north, 36. I don't believe a half glass door. I don't know if the house has any grid in it or not on the windows, but if it does, we'll match that. Nothing on the inside, just studded inside. There was no electric, no water, it was just a garage. The siding sample I provided would match the house now. It has metal siding, and that is the only company I could find in Texas that has metal siding, but it's also coated in vinyl. So, but it's still, it's, yeah, and expensive. So, but yes. And the aluminum saw vented soffit on on the ends, and then no, on the gable end, there won't be any vent on either end. It'll just be center vent soffit on each side. White aluminum soffit. The whole building will be white. The approach was there. The concrete was busted up, so the gentleman, this Sizemore, he had Bales Concrete come in and do freshen it up, make it where the concrete's not all busted up, so. Yeah. Typical 16-inch on center studs, Stark truss 2x4. Yeah.
Do we have any questions?
I'm just wondering about the overhang of the gable. Like
Be
how far
14 and a half inches.
14 and a half inches from
Yes,
it.
sir. Mhm.
Would you,
Well, it'd be 14 and a half inches, it'd be 16 inches once we get done.
you're the general contractor.
I am, yes, sir.
Do you think the owner might be amenable to using knee braces like that are on the front of the house? Just kind of incorporated it and make it look,
I would imagine if it was something that was gonna hold the process up, I'm sure you'd be agreeable, yes.
Yeah,
that would just make it more, fit in better with the.
Make it match.
Yeah, yeah, there you go.
Continuity of the two.
Sure.
buildings.
Yeah.
In the gable and on the ends,
Yeah, like the house.
like the house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
House. So you need 3 of them. They're pretty accessible and not super expensive. But I think it would really tie the look of the architecture, the style of the house in with the.
yeah, we can also custom make them
Yeah.
too. It doesn't take but a little bit of
Yeah,
plywood
knee
and
brace,
scroll saw.
right,
Yeah.
I think it looks good. I appreciate that you have researched the siding. There were
Yeah, I wanted it to look,
size lap as the.
yeah, we just didn't want to do a regular vinyl like commonly.
I would move for approval.
With those adjustments.
Yes, with those caveats.
Second.
Okay. I have a motion and a second with the amendment of adding the knee braces to the garage to match the house, to approve the certificate of appropriateness to construct the detached garage in the side yard at 111 South Fifth Street. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay.
Okay,
Got
thank
that.
you. I appreciate it.
I'll get the certificate up tomorrow and then we'll move on the building permit.
Okay, good deal. All right, thank
Thanks,
you.
Chuck.
Y'all have a Merry
Thank you.
Christmas. Good to
You
see
too.
Okay, we are going to move on to SGHC 009-25 to receive a certificate of appropriateness to install white picket fencing and concrete posts matching 99 North Main at 73 North Main Street.
I think Dr. Hoffman's here to tell us a little bit about it.
Indeed, and I apologize for being slightly delayed. I just discovered what short traffic on 55 is like. But now, I don't think the wicket fence should be any problem because it's the identical fence, except it's been painted now. It looks good. So it's really not a change at all. The posts, on the other hand, whenever I took over the Heritage House, there were a lot of things that were old and already there that were not in very good condition. And we have replaced and repaired many things, so that not everything should be identical to the way it was before. Sometimes it really needs to be better. And the posts that were there before were concrete posts that were painted blue. And blue is one of our colors for decoration for the house, but it's just not a good look. If you remember base of the house is a limestone base. In fact, I saw an article in the local paper commemorating the day in, I think it was 1853, that Dr. Farragut actually built that limestone and put it on his house, and why that was a worthy of notification to the paper says something about the times. But basically, I think it needs to be limestone again, not a plated piece of concrete. I think that's progress, even though it's a change. And this is what I'm proposing we use. This is actually limestone. This is limestone veneer. This is made in Illinois, right across the river, but it is for sale at Menards. And we have the capability, with Chris's help, to apply it. And I think it will look really good. I think this color matches the stone that is there quite well. And so I'm suggesting using this on those posts so that it looks like it was part of the original house. And so I'm going to put this out here for people to take a look at. This comes in quite a few different tones, but this tone I think is pretty close to the same as what's already there. And again, this is real stone. This is not a piece of iron or something. And here is more literature about it if anybody wants to take a look at it and see the nature of it, okay? But this is what I'm proposing we do as far as the post itself. The posts are already there. They were put in with the idea of reduplicating the ones before. We put them in cement, but this would cover the cement, and it would look like it was entirely stone, okay? Now, the top of the post previously was just a round ball. I don't know if that's what the original was, whenever it was built in 1853, but that's what was there when we came in. And there are a lot of, these are called finials, the tops of the posts like that. There are a lot of finials that are used in upscale houses. And in St. Louis, there are a lot of old houses with French background, especially in the Soulard area, where they have this kind of architecture from that same period of time, the mid-1800s. And sometimes these come up for sale in places that have architectural antiques. And sometimes people just imitate them, but they're still the same thing. And that's what I'm proposing having at the top of the thing. There's two sitting out there in front of the house that I want to use. I think everybody's seen them sitting there waiting to go up. I want to use for the ones that are in front of the Heritage House. But there's the matching set that are in front of the walkway into the new property next door. And these are the ones I'm proposing for that. This is a classic mid-Victorian finial. This is the kind of thing that would have been used at the time by an upscale family wanting to build a nice gateway into their house. And these are made of stone. They're not plastic or anything, they're stone. And again, I think sitting on top of this will look very stately and very time appropriate. So these are the things I'm proposing for the gateway to the original. Now, the other thing that I wanted to mention while I'm here is that my ultimate goal is making both houses fit together in a way that does fit the 1800s, which is when they were built, and also to make them such that they can be used by the city for true events in which we need to make people aware of the past. These are the pictures we took during the Spring Festival. There's the Queen, as you can see, right in front of my house. And it looks perfect. It looks like it should for that period of time. We want to keep it that way. It may not be the same as it was before, but it will be authentic. It will be authentic to the time and to the sort of thing we can use for PR. I'm going to put that one down here. Here's another picture with a nice horse in front of my house. And again, trying to make it look the way it would have looked in those days so that we can use these kind of things for marketing. And we promise to try to, with all the things we do, keep within that parameter. Now, just to give you a little background on the plans for 73 North, which is the new property, it's going to be an extension of the old property. This is our current garden with wine and some nice charcuterie. And we're going to do the same thing extending next door. There's going to be a big wine garden that extends between the two houses. And therefore, with the same kind of style that we have put into the first house. And we plan to use it both for entertaining and perhaps for some weddings at some point in time as well. But that is the way we would anticipate that property to be used. There is the area, let's see, there it is. There's the old bakery, and this is the space between them now. It's just dirt. And when we get done with it, it won't be. It'll be a garden like the one I just showed you, and there will be a walkway straight down the middle. I've saved a bunch of bricks from another project that I have in another location. And we're going to use the bricks as a brick walkway. They are 1800s bricks. They will look the same. And we're going to have a row of flowers on either side. And so this will be a promenade. There will be a gazebo back here at the end of that promenade where we will have music whenever everything's up and running. And if we do have weddings there, this will probably be where we have the minister waiting for the bride to come down this long promenade. The sidelines will also have furniture for people to sit. Again, there are antique stores in St. Louis where I can get furnishings of this type. And this was the sort of thing that would be mixed among the roses along that garden, going all the way back there, with the intention of maintaining the same level of supposed elegance, okay? And so again, 1800 style. Now, I do a lot of shopping at estate sales. It's a hard job for somebody that to do it. And I get a lot of things in St. Louis because there's a huge French neighborhood there, Soulard, where most of the houses are about old enough to come down. So the contents are being sold off. That includes things from gardens, like the picture I just saw here, and things from the inside, like the things here that are in one of my rooms. This is called the Pioneer Suite. And this, of course, is a legitimate spinning wheel and churn. And this lady in the portrait, this portrait was painted in 1840, same time period. This portrait was sent because she was having an arranged marriage with a gentleman in Soulard, and he wanted to see what she looked like. So they sent the portrait ahead before she came down. So legitimate, again, we're trying to be authentic to the 1800s, and we're going to try to keep it like that. Okay? So if anybody has any questions, that's one of the reasons I came tonight.
Yeah, it is up.
Okay?
Did you see these? Yeah, she's not.
Yeah, we got on this, thank you.
Everybody's good here.
Dr. Hoffman, the posts that are extant here, the ones
Let me see, but I have to get closer.
at the north end of the
My eyes
house,
these days. Yes, it's these two blue posts here that are being replaced.
and those are stone?
Those are the ones that were there
Concrete.
before. No, those are concrete. That's something somebody put in maybe 30 or 40 years ago. That's not something we should be preserving. We need to make it look like it did way back when, at the right time.
Okay. And then, aren't there new concrete posts up there already?
Yes, but we're going to
Okay,
cover
I
them with
go
this.
by there, I go by there on my way to
And-
work every day.
And that's what we put up when we were trying to reduplicate what was already there. Then we took a look at it and said, this doesn't look right. Let's make it look like it would have been those days instead. Because I'm sure they didn't have concrete posts in Dr. Herdick's time.
They didn't, but they probably built them long enough ago that they are considered historic materials.
Yeah.
I agree.
Um,
But don't you want to look at what them look like historic materials?
Okay, there's something that we, in the preservation world, that we call gilding the lily.
Yeah.
And, and one of the things that you don't want to do is project an image of something that might have been there or might not ever have been there. And the best way to avoid doing that is with documentary evidence, photographs and things like that. You've done beautiful work over there, but I don't know. I just,
Yeah, I think the materials that we're wanting to add to what you've already got there and put veneers onto things that never would have had veneers on them in this community.
They would have been solid stone in this community, like the bottom of the.
Yes, but putting a veneer that's a man-made product that's just concrete,
It's not.
that looks like
this isn't
stone.
Concrete though, this one really is.
It is a poured stone product, which means it is ground stone, added materials to it, and then manufactured, versus stone products that are quarried and natural stone and never are. If you'll read the profile, it says it's a poured stone product.
I'm slightly confused if somebody could help me. Are we talking about this house
yes.
Yes.
or this one?
Well, she owns both of them.
So is the application for this house or for this?
Well, it's for the fence. Well, and part of it's this because these are posts that she wants to get rid of.
Okay,
So the original application was for those to mirror the ones at the other house, which were concrete, were taken down and re-poured concrete.
okay. So we've already approved these then?
No, they were there and they're back. I put kind of a stop on it because we needed to be here.
Right.
And now we've thrown some new stuff in.
Did your contractor just get overly zealous
Okay.
in doing them before the
Okay.
permitting process?
I think he
Just trying
thought
to
he
figure
was
out what happened.
duplicating what was already there, and that's what you would want. I think he thought he was just naturally doing, just like the white fence that we put up is identical. It is the same fence.
Right, right.
So I
But the
think-
other things he proposed are not identical.
Right.
That's my problem with them.
Well, this new veneer and the new posts and the poured concrete finials, those are not stone finials pictures, those are poured concrete. You can see the poured lines.
Yes,
Those are poured
yeah.
in molds. And that's not a stone material, that's a concrete material. Just like this is stone ground mixed with concrete. It says right in one of the big panels, it says poured concrete, poured stone material. So it is a manufactured good
Yes,
rather than
natural
natural stone.
Cast natural stone is what they call it.
Yeah, the casting is the process of making it. They're casting it.
Right.
Yes,
Now, I don't know, I think this looks a lot better than what's there. And looks a lot more like what was built there the first time.
Right, but we
But
have
we don't
to weigh things based on accuracy, not aesthetics. So is it accurate to what was there? Is it accurate to what's in the standards? Is it accurate to the precedent that the commission has set?
So-
And that's where our reservation lies.
So we have to go by what is there now and what we have evidence and pictures of actually being there. Not a house of this nature was made, 100 miles away with similar products, and we want to do this one with those similar products because we think it looks better. The aesthetics are not what we're looking for. It's the materials used to replace the materials with like materials.
If you're going to do it with like materials of what was there when we came in, it'd be a piece of concrete. That's what we came in with, it already being there.
And these stones and the finials that you're looking at are concrete as well. But they are not the concrete that's represented here in this place or in this community.
I guess what I'm saying, since they're both pieces of concrete, they're both created within this period of time, but the one looks like 1800s and the other one doesn't. Why not choose between two pieces of concrete, the one that looks like the 1800s?
The 18,
Yeah, first of all, I don't know that looks like the 1800s. It looks, it doesn't resemble any of either of the posts that are there now.
Or the
historic
stone,
ones.
Or
And
the
these are-
stonework on the foundation.
Right.
It's completely different. You put them side by side, anybody can walk by and tell the difference by looking. Anybody who actually doesn't have an eye for it, they will tell the difference.
Okay. So you prefer the painted blue concrete?
without evidence to change to something else, I think that's where we have to go. If you come back with evidence, written, photograph, whatever, showing that there was something different there during your period of significance, great. We'll absolutely consider it. Right now, the biggest challenge is that it's based on an aesthetic preference than an evidence-based
Historical
opinion.
evidence, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have
And that's
any,
really what.
and I don't have access to any photographs of this structure 100 years ago.
I don't.
Yeah, you might ask Bill Nagger. He might have access to photos of the house.
When I took it over, it had the concrete pillars that were painted blue, and they looked awful. To build something that looks awful again because it was already there does not make sense to me.
Right, but I mean, it doesn't have to be a mystical photograph of this property, because I get it, it's hard. If you could find an example elsewhere in St. Genevieve to say that this design or this feature or this material was present in St. Genevieve during this period, then that's something we could work with. It doesn't have to be this property, but a property of the same period, of a similar style, et cetera.
Yeah, a similar style of product, property with a similar building style from that same time period that has posts that are similar to what you would like to do. Then you can present that as evidence to try to duplicate that because it was here.
Well, the base of the building is what I was trying to mimic with this, and it certainly mimics it better than the blue concrete does.
Well, there are stone foundries right here in Perryville that can provide pallets of stone that can be assembled,
Real limestone.
real limestone.
Okay. If there is something that's, what is local? What is the company that's involved for that?
Simcoe
Simcoe
and
and,
Earthworks
yes.
both do stone.
Okay. I haven't purchased anything yet, I'm showing.
Right, but
We can look at Simcoe, bring something back with that.
I can get you some information on those two companies if that's what you want to do.
I think that would be reasonable. I understand that aesthetics should not prompt authenticity, but I believe in authenticity. That's the reason I buy all these things that are really from the 1800s to present and make the place look like it ought to. But some of the things that have evolved by the time we're coming in now are not the things that were built in the 1800s. They're things people have put in later and maybe don't look that good. And maybe that's not authenticity in that sense.
but we can't change from what's there until we have evidence that something was used like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, and we go by the evidence, which is why we have
Sure.
books full of it and guidelines that are all based on that evidence.
Now, even though those are made of concrete, there are imitations of the ones that were on the mansions, like I say, Soulard in the 1800s. That's not here, it's 100 miles away.
That's
But it
correct.
still is the
It
first
should be,
community of that
it needs to be within this community.
Yeah.
You can use those as an example of what to look for here in the community.
Okay.
Do we want to consider okaying the initial ask, yay or nay? And then Dr. Hoffman can see if she wants to make changes to that and come
What do
back?
we want to call the initial ask? What is that?
Well, what,
Picket fencing and the concrete posts?
yes.
I'd be okay with that.
Picket fencing is identical, I can't see why that would be any issue.
Yeah, it's just a
Right.
change to the exterior. That's
Yeah.
why I asked Chris to bring the
Right.
application. Right.
Yeah, the fence and the repair to the posts that were originally there is the application.
Correct.
And those are all things that should and could be done through this process without any changes.
We need to have something to put on top of the post though, as a finial. I mean, it doesn't look right without something on the top, it's meant to.
So
So the picture of the original is in the packet.
when you
Yeah.
report, you didn't put the finial on top?
No, it's-
It's just a,
It's just the post awaiting its finial. And that's why I was gonna bring in a finial and put it on. But if you want somebody to make a ball, which is all that it was, we can do that, but it's,
Well, ideally, it will look like the ones on the original Herdick house.
Yeah.
The ball finials. Right.
but it's gonna have to be really made out of concrete too, because that's what we have available.
That's okay.
Which is a proper building material for the time.
Did they really use concrete in 1850?
Well,
That's what it is, right?
The Romans used concrete.
also,
Not like that.
I mean, I know it's not beautiful by any means,
Right,
but as materials are used, whether this structure was 1849, it was added on to, let's say in 1900, 1920, 1950. Each of those has also gained architectural significance. I don't want to say unfortunately, oddly, how's that?
okay.
And please correct me, those of you.
That's,
No, that's right.
So we can certainly, if you so choose to, consider the concrete posts, the existing finials, and the white picket fencing tonight. And then if Dr. Hoffman wants to come back with a different suggestion of either post material or finial, I mean, you can certainly come back.
If you will give me the name of a local company that could make the kind of thing you would accept, I will obviously look into it. I came up with this one on the internet, which is obviously not the way they did it in 1850. But nonetheless, if you already know of something local that can give us a limestone coating, I'm happy to do that.
well, there's two separate things. There's the posts and the fence, it was your application.
So you're accepting the fence, though?
Those are the things that we are considering right now.
Correct.
Okay.
You brought in some additions to those things which are unacceptable
Okay.
at this time.
The fence is okay, though, is that what you're saying? Because, again, it is identical.
Yes, ma'am. That's not a matter of contention at all.
Okay. So we can leave
And
the
you
fence
know,
there. We already got the
just so
fence.
you know, that our MO is not to like restrict you personally or make you spend more money or make you do something you don't want to do. It is to protect the historic resources of St. Genevieve, which is, you know, a National Historic Landmark District. And you have a very high profile building. So
That's why I was showing you here. And I was showing that I was trying to show that we've maintained that profile. And that is my goal as well, to maintain the ability to be part of the historical history, nature.
well, I'll move that we approve as submitted, and call into exception the cladding, and the finials, which are not appropriate.
So then the motion would be to approve the concrete posts matching what was there, along with white picket fencing extended into 73 North.
Yes, sir.
And so I need to find a ball-shaped finial. Is that what you're saying to me too? Okay.
Or as close as you can get to the one that's there, that are there, yeah.
Now, there are two that are out there right now that are balls that I'm waiting to put up. They have a little bit of filigree around them. That's the only thing that makes them different. I didn't bring a picture of those. I thought maybe people would have probably seen them sitting there because they were waiting to go up. Am I okay to put those up? They are balls.
I'd want to take a look at them first.
Yeah, we'd have to really take a look at it.
Okay. There it is.
That's not a ball.
Okay. I don't think I think that's too filigreed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I get you're wanting to make it look nice and fancy,
Right.
but it wasn't.
It was a nice, sturdy, plain house.
Right.
And that's
But it still
where
should be.
where it needs to kind of stay.
Okay.
Okay, so I have a motion to approve the certificate of appropriateness as submitted, which was to install a white picket fence and concrete post matching 99 North Main to continue down to 73 North Main. Do I have a second?
A second.
Okay. So I've got the motion and the second to approve the certificate as submitted. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I will have that certificate in the mail to you tomorrow, Dr. Hoffman.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you very much.
Ready? Okay, we're going to move on to new business. SGHC 013-25 to receive a certificate of appropriateness to demolish the structure at 688 Market Street.
It's 2-3. Remember, they're switched.
Well, my paper says two.
It's 1325.
Oh, okay, that's right.
I'm sorry that I've created some confusion.
Yeah.
No, yeah, okay. You're 2325, okay. I was like, no, mine match up here.
All right.
Okay. We're good.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
I am Michael Mills. I own 688 Market Street. I currently sold 686 Market Street. I'm assuming in 16, 17, 18, whatever time I bought them. I bought one, they gave me the other house for free. It was like, you buy this, you get this. I bought the one property, fixed it up, had it for a rental. I ended up having to live in it, so I did some renovations on it, upstairs, downstairs, and sold it. I tried to sell 688 with it, but I couldn't because the people that wanted to buy it with the other house wouldn't do none of this. They didn't want to come up against y'all. So I am here I want to sell the property. If it doesn't come down to me selling it, I'm just going to give it away. Since I've had it, I've used it for storage just like the previous owner had. It hasn't had electric, water, gas, anything, or people living in it. In 2020,
I don't have record of any water bill since 1995.
in 2020, I asked to have Dave look at it, and Dave put a ticket on the door that says inhabitable. Unhabitable, I'm sorry. And it's been that way ever since then. I have put, basically just try to keep the birds and the mice out of it. So mice traps and stuff like that, and rat food, whatever poison I had to put in there to keep everything out. A couple times a year, I'd put bombs in there to kill whatever spiders that was in there because I have stuff in there. But I'm looking to get this where I can tear it down, sell the piece of property where somebody else can build a house there because it's right on the edge of the historic district. It's the last house before you step out of the historic district. It's in pretty bad shape. Foundation's falling apart. The walls are separating inside. The back bathroom and kitchen areas dropped about 9.5 inches from the front portion of the home. Friday, we had a few people walk through it. And I had to run out real quick and y'all shut the door for me. But the $154 a year that the city's getting for taxes, once it's tore down and another house is put up, to code, I'm pretty sure it's going to bring in a lot more money to the community than what's sitting there now. It is in the historic district. It does not have no historic value, it's just a house in the historic district.
Well, you've done a good job of keeping the windows in it and the roof repaired, and that's a part of your problem.
Okay, let me leave real quick. We're going to change that now. I actually put the plywood up to keep anybody from breaking into it. I had to go next door and tell them 3 times to get their vehicles off my property, because if I went over there, their vehicles are parked on my property. So I went by there and spoke to them for the 3rd time. One vehicle has been moved, the other one's still left there. So
Well, you say it's not a historic building, but it is in the historic district,
I did say that.
and it is a contributing structure in the
Yes.
district, which means
Yes.
that, somebody has certified that it's historic.
Yeah.
So that's why we're here, basically tonight. And, I know it's a liability to you now, and I appreciate your letting us come over and take a look at it on Saturday.
Yeah, I was a little weary about that, but because the fact is that the condition that it's in, that's just what I needed, is it to fall down with 4 of us in there. And the one house that's next door, it's only 5 feet away from the structure. So if it does this, and we've had some nice little storms this year. I've already had to replace quite a few shingles on our house next door, but not on that one. But the roof was already on there when it was given to me.
Have you looked into how much it would cost to repair the foundation?
I talked to a gentleman. I'm a union carpenter. I was a union iron worker for 30 years. I've been in the carpenter millwrights for 9 years. I renovated Buddy's place. I used to own it. I did a bunch of work on the original place. I renovated that house. I've worked all over on doing things. I'm fixing to build my own house out in Minot, myself, from the ground up. I talked to some people back when I got the property, and they talked about coming in and lifting up the foundation, or lifting up the house off the foundation, building the foundation and setting it back down. But the house is in too bad of shape to support itself once it's off that foundation, because of the foundation is deteriorating that bad. I would have climbed up underneath it and taken pictures. I'm scared of spiders, and I don't want to be that to be my burial spot.
Thank you for allowing some of the members to tour it on Saturday or Friday.
Yes, no problem.
That's right, it's Friday.
Yeah, I was still stuck at work. I couldn't sneak off Friday.
I waited as long as I could. Which I did take photos and give to Dave, but then the pictures, they didn't do justice. It was best to look through it.
And they have those photos, but you're right.
And you can tell upstairs where the wall's pulling away from the main wall, carrying the center of the house. And then you can see it from underneath where it's separating on both sides. And then you can see where it's separating in the back, and the back 2 rooms have started to drop.
Do we have any questions?
And I'm pretty sure if it does get the opportunity to get it tore down and somebody gets the piece of property, they'll have to come in here and submit all that information in order to build something. And they'll have to build something that's going to fit and suture to the committee.
Frankly, when I was in it on Friday, I wasn't very scared. And I could see this house. I mean, it is, like I said, it is a historic building. And even if somebody were to build a new house on, we lost a historic building. Have you thought about just putting it on the market by itself? And if you make $1, you've made 100% profit.
The lot's worth $10,000, hypothetically. I've already had 20 people look at the house. They've had many people come in here to talk, see what they can do to get it done, and that's why I'm here right now. I don't have the money to to tear it down tooth by tooth and rebuild it back every piece. I got to build a house myself to live in where I can get out of the camper that I'm staying in now.
I think I'll speak for myself. I think my biggest hangup is that there is a larger percentage of the house, a vast percentage of the house that is salvageable.
Yep.
And to tear down a property that is contributing, that needs to be reversed.
Yeah.
And since there's enough there to save, more than enough there to save, I cannot, our guidelines or in good conscience, tear it down.
I had one guy, I'd have to go back in my phone and look. Probably in 18, I had a guy come out, look at the property. He actually talked about tearing it down piece by piece. Every piece of lumber, every piece of asbestos siding will go on pallets, and every bit of it will use. He works for Habitat of Humanity. So everything would go into a warehouse, and when they would go and do repairs on people's houses, if it used that certain type of tile, they would take that and put that on people's houses. And it was the elderly, but all that would be used for whatever it was used for. Somebody would buy it or whatever.
Yeah, the problem is once a house is gone, it's gone.
Oh, I understand.
And that's there are a lot of houses that people have neglected over the years that contribute to the overall look and feel of it because of the variety of houses and different time periods they were built. And losing some of those loses part of that history and the architectural history that's important to the community, which is why we have this commission to try to maintain that.
Yes, I understand that. Which I owned 686 before I sold it, and I could have took out all the windows and put all new vinyl in. And when I sold it, it still had all the original windows in it that was in there. I took the windows apart and rebuilt them and put them back in. Which that house was built in 1930 and it was renovated in 1950. And then when the previous owner, he renovated the inside of it. And then I even renovated the inside again.
Do we have any additional questions? Are we ready to make a motion?
I think that everybody agrees that it shouldn't be demolished, but nobody really wants to make the motion.
Motion. I just want it off my hands.
You just haven't neglected it.
Well,
Encourage.
No, just teasing, but I say put a for sale sign up in front of it.
there was a for sale sign up on it. Somebody took it.
Yeah, but I just looked at a house that was a complete wreck on North Main Street a couple of weeks ago, and it's sold now. It didn't have any floors in it. So,
Which I understand.
it's just, I think the consensus is that it's not so far gone that it can't be saved.
Yeah.
And Mike, if you list it again, I mean, I know you and I've talked already. When people call, I walk them through the process. I
Yeah.
tell them it's not the end of the world to go through the process.
Yeah. They just don't want to do it. They avoid this situation.
You're correct.
I've been in this room quite a few times.
I know. And I will.
All new people,
I feel for you.
all new people,
If
but
you
I've been
find
here.
someone interested again, and if it's denied, and that want to call me, I will hand walk them through the process.
Yes, I've had 20 people come look at the other house, and which my realtor was trying to get it in a package deal, but
Yes,
They couldn't do nothing because of the heritage. They just didn't want to deal with it.
I agree.
You know, they wanted to go the easy route and not the,
Correct. Route.
So they put rock, paper, scissors to see who's the one.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll make a motion to deny the application.
I'll second.
Okay. I have a motion and a second to deny the certificate of appropriateness to demolish the structure at 688 Market Street. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
aye. Hey, I got to go out with a smile on my face.
Sincere thank you for opening the facility up.
Hey, no problem. No problem. Hey, you still interested in that piece of furniture?
Yes, yes.
See, I'm gonna make a profit.
There we go.
What, upstairs?
Yeah, it's a side buffet. Oh, it's gorgeous. It needs some TLC, but it's pretty.
You ought to seen the one that was in the other house I couldn't get down because it wouldn't fit down the stairs.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Yes.
next door?
Yes, it's an old cabinet with 3 drawers with a built-in mirror. Had a lock and everything on it.
Oh,
I
wow.
left the key in it and everything when I left. They couldn't get it down. I couldn't.
I get
It
a
lives
little,
there now.
I can get a little excited about the pieces of furniture and antiques that are sitting in some of the houses around town.
There's actually a few old beds up there too.
I always saw that metal one. That one
Yeah,
was
the-
really
The
cool.
old metal frame. But there's a couple pieces of furniture up there.
I'll be in
Get
touch.
my number from Dave.
I'll be in touch. Yes.
Yep, no problem. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Aye.
Okay, moving on to administrative approvals.
So I just have one list there, though I'm going to add one to it, 130 North Main, which was a roof and gutter replacement, and then also 234 Merchant. So that is better known as Treasured Memories. We'll be getting a new standing seam roof and half-round gutters.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that's all I have
Where
there.
did you find to get the Efrons?
I sent some contacts that I Googled off the internet to
And they-
the contractor.
K never called me back.
So, yeah.
Apologize
But
for
he
that.
found someone. He found someone.
Okay, awesome.
They're keeping the existing downspouts, but there will be new half-round. Yeah.
Very nice.
Okay, moving on to other business.
So just a reminder that our meetings in January and February are moved back a week. I don't have the dates in front of me, but we covered it last meeting. I just want you to know. So those are on your calendar. And then I included a copy of the CLG report with the staff packet. So that's annually filed, allows us to maintain our certification as a CLG, be eligible for multiple grants, help from SHPO and things of that nature. And if you have any questions on it, let me know. That's
Okay,
all.
our meetings move back or forward?
Forward, another week.
Okay.
Forward. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yes, correct.
And there's a webinar tomorrow, right? And
Possibly.
I think there is an APC, yeah. think
I
there
sent
is
a few
tomorrow.
emails out, I'm
Yeah, I
sorry.
think there is one tomorrow.
So there was
Remember
one
what
that
it
I
is?
think was dated for tomorrow, but the original date on it was the 10th. Did they move that back a week?
There was one that was confusing. I can't remember what it was.
I saw that.
You all also have access to all those 5 from the NAPC that I sent out about a month ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got to try to figure out how to get in and do that.
And if you take them, again, please let me know because we've started a new period for CLG.
Oh, do I need to I just forward it to you every time they're like, you're done.
I'm perfect.
Okay.
That's perfect. I put that in a
I
little.
need to find time to do those. 'cause-
Okay.
Okay,
Move to adjourn.
I'll second.
we're good. We can adjourn.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much for what you do.